it's Tony with lidl.doodle. Thanks for stopping by my channel. I felt like today was a great day to share my San Francisco ink haul. First, I'm going to just update you really quickly on my little floral journal. You guys look, I am almost halfway through. And I flipped through this in my last video. This was from the class I took. If you didn't see that video, this is from Corolla's class I took on painting loose florals with fountain pen ink. And I am just painting away, you guys. And I will just tell you, at the time of this recording, there's just a lot going on in the world right now. And I've been just really leaning into spending time with my art, with my pens and my journaling, and some cat videos. So yeah, I hope you are taking good care of your mental health and that you are enjoying your September. Mine is off to a wild and wacky start. School's going well. I think I've learned everybody's names. Things are, the honeymoon period is definitely wearing off, but I have some delightful young humans that I am getting to know. So let's jump into my, I think I have 13 inks to share. The first one is this Monarca, and look at this. They include this little ink and pen holder. How cute is that? I just love it. So this is a blue called Cielo Cruel. I am using my Dominant Industry ink muddler along with my River City Pen Co. Opal X nib holder that I picked up in San Francisco that I shared in my last video. I can't get enough of this Opal X. I just really, really love that. And I like opals anyway. Okay, so I did not map this out on the page, but we're just gonna go with it. I just needed to just come and do something creative. And I had the time, so here I am. I'm noticing my hand is a little bit shaky. I wonder if maybe I had too much coffee this morning. So don't mind if my handwriting's a little bit shaky today. There's just been a lot this week, and tomorrow is our first home football game. It is my daughter's, let me interrupt myself, Sailor Mano, Yamogi. I love Mano inks. I just really enjoy all of my Mano inks. So anyway, yeah, this week's just been a lot, and it's our first home football game tomorrow, and it is my daughter's first game cheering as a varsity cheerleader. So I will be hanging out to watch her. I like to watch our boys play football too, but I'm mostly going just to watch my sweet cheerleader. I just really love that. I just feel like I'm in my ink era right now. Isn't that what the kids say? I've just been spending a lot of time with inks and again, acquiring inks. I've been going after inks more than anything lately. Third ink here is a Shikiori ink, and I have the name written down somewhere. It's Yuki Akari. Sorry, I thought I was more ready. I had my little ink journal with the names right there, but anyway, here it is. And I just write, oops, Shikiori, because I know, oh my gosh, that bubbled quite a bit. Let's see, Yuki. So I really like these two. I have a lot of like this color ink, but I really do like this, and I love this blue. I just think it is such a pretty blue, and I ended up buying two Monarca. I don't know where to put the emphasis on that. Anyway, two Monarca inks that I really am happy with. Okay, another Mano ink. This is Mano Nagi. And there's actually There's two inks that I actually didn't actually buy, but there's a story. Well, one of them was included with the Monteverde pen, and I'll show you that one, but there's a story behind the other one. I will tell you when I get there. This is kind of a stormy bluish gray. I think that's really pretty. It's starting to get a little more like fall weather here in the Pacific Northwest. We still are pretty warm, but it's a super cloudy, just kind of gloomy day today. But it's warm. It's like high 70s, so it's kind of I like 65 and breezy. That is my jam. All right, Manyo Nagi. I just love what the Manyo inks do when they dry. I just don't have one that I am not happy with, even the ones that I don't have in pens that I just use for art. Okay, next up is a Tono in Limbs. And the name of this, I will put the whole name on the screen, but I only wrote down because it's kind of a mouthful. It was like blessings of the earth and tenderness to the something. I'll put it up there though. But look at that. Oh, it's got some pretty shimmer going on in there. Get that all agitated. I think this is my first bottle of Tono and Limbs, and I'm just gonna write how I have it written down. Blessing, because it was a long title, so I'll put it up. Anyway, it does some fun things when it dries here, so we're gonna come back to that. But look at, oh, I love that shading that the Manyo inks do. Okay, so the next two inks are from a brand I have never used before. This is Octopus Write and Draw ink, and this is Green Eagle. It's fairly opaque. I don't know if you can tell that on screen, but it seems like a pretty opaque ink. I did not put this in a pen yet, kind of thinking about it. As we're coming into fall, I will probably do some ink swapping for some darker, more moody fall inks. But until this weather cools off and we start to get some rain, it does not feel like fall. Oh, I forgot to tell you, this notebook is, I've kind of been all over the place with my ink notebooks, to be honest. But this one is that Aerofil that I've shown before, and it's a whiter paper than like a Leuchtturm, but it seems pretty comparable to my little Hobonichi notebook that I've been using as well. So this is what I've got inked up right now. I think I've shown that one before. All right, the next one is another Octopus ink, and this is Green Tiger. So I got two green inks from them. And if I remember correctly, where I grabbed it, I don't know if they didn't, I'm sure they had ink swatches, but I think somebody was in the middle of using it when I was getting ready to purchase inks, and I just was like, I'm just gonna go in blindly. Sometimes that's fun. And I don't feel like it's wasteful and I've said this 100 times, I'm gonna use every drop of every bottle of ink I have, because if I'm not putting it in a pen, maybe Doug is, or I'm doing art with it, or I'm taking it to school and letting my kids do art with it. So I always feel like my inks are good investments. I'm never sad about an ink. Next up, I didn't know I was going to get this color, but I got it and I thought it was going to work for one pen, and it didn't, so I'm using it for other things. But this is the Diamine Forever ink in Hyper Green. I thought this color would work really well with my neon green Estabrook Funky Town. It's the wrong green. this is more yellow than I wanted it to be for that pen. So that's that. This is a fun in-your-face green. I do like this green, but it just wasn't the right green for that Esty. So I will find a good use for it. I really like these Diamine Forever inks. If you haven't tried them, they have just an interesting texture and kind of a gloss when they dry. I don't know if it's because they're so thick. I'm not sure. Now the next ink is a Kyo no Oto. I think I said that. Kokiero. Now I purchased this before the pen show from Van Ness, and it showed up in the mail the week of the show, and it was the wrong ink. And so I reached out to Van Ness and I was like, hey, how do I swap this out for the right color? And then I was like, if you're coming to San Francisco, just bring it, and then I will bring the color that you sent me and we will trade. And that was the first thing that I did. Well, one of the first things I did. So that was really nice of them just to bring this, because I was really sad because I had a sample of this ink and I really like this color. Really, really like this green. So yeah, I was really happy. So technically this isn't a purchase from the show, but I did pick it up there. I need to be a little better about wiping off this nib before I go right on the paper because I'm getting lots of blobs there. I'm being a little sloppy. All right, the next ink is a Tasha ink that I put in one of my Carolina pens, and I think I showed that. It was a little bit light in that pen, and I added a drop of honey pot to the cartridge, and it kind of richened it up a little bit. But just on its own, this is a really pretty ink. It was just, I think the nib that I have on that pen, it's an Imperial nib, and so I think the writing sample just wasn't as dark as I like it to be. So adding that little honey pot just kind of made it a little bit richer. But this is, I feel like it's a really interesting yellow. I don't know. Okay, it's brownish yellow. I'm not sure what it reminds me of, but I do like it. I think it's very unique. Now, the next ink I was on a hunt for, and I found it. The Forever Ink Butterscotch. I just really wanted this color. I didn't even have a sample of it before, but I had seen it online and I just knew that this was going to be a color that I would enjoy. So I made sure that I hunted it down because I had been having a hard time finding it online. It just seemed like it was sold out everywhere. Even though I'm sure, you know, it's not like they're going to stop making this. Well, or who knows, maybe they will, because ink companies do that. This seems a little bit dry on the muddler, but I love this brown. This is going to be a nice fall ink, I think. All right, 2 more to go. The next one is another Monarca ink. Oh, that goes with that. And this one is called Tierra Colorada, and I have this inked up in my Leonardo. I showed that already, so I'm not going to go grab it off the table. But it is a fave. I really like these inks. I'm happy with trying a couple new brands. Was fun, and I am happy with both the Octopus brand and this Monarca brand. Oh, sorry, there's a loud van outside. I have my window open. Probably shouldn't have done that. Kids are going to be getting off school, making all kinds of noise out there. Oh, I love the richness of that. It is just so pretty, and it is so perfect in my Leonardo. I just really love this ink. Love that. I just really love all of these colors. I'm really happy with them. And finally, this came with the Monteverde ink. It's honey yellow. I talked about this in the last video that I thought something was wrong with the ink because I had made it up in my brain that it was yellow, but it's not. It's black with yellow shimmer. And it's thick. It's a really just thick ink. It's interesting. I have it in the Monteverde pen. I don't know that I would put it in a different one. But it's just a really, just feels heavy. Maybe it's all the shimmer, I don't know. And it feels super thick. All right, I'm gonna let that dry. Doug always gets on me that I don't let him dry enough. So I'm gonna really try to let it dry. I just get so excited. So I'm gonna let this dry and dry well. How's that? Okay, let's take a closer look. There is that Cielo Cruel. That's just such a pretty blue. Oh, why are we out of focus? Okay, sorry. Camera's having a rough time. There is the Yomogi. There is the Yuki Akari. I love that shading. There is the Manyo Nagi. Here's the Green Eagle. Now listen, I let this dry, but these little areas weren't drying fast, so I grabbed my blotting paper and I blotted it, and then it pulled the ink up, so that's why that's still a little wet, as I had to put some more ink on it. Check this Tono and Limbs out. How pretty is that? It didn't go down looking like that, did it? I love that. It's probably too light. Well, maybe I'd put it in a stub, or I've got a double broad. Maybe I'd put it in a double broad, but I love that. Okay, here's the Green Tiger, which I think is just a really pretty rich green. There's that Diamine Hyper Green, and I don't know if you can kind of see like just a little bit of a shine on that ink. And then there's the Kyono Oto, the Tasha Butterscotch, Tierra Colorada, and the Honey Yellow. That's really a thick ink. And then I stamped this area because I got some little drops of a different color on there. So anyway, all right, there are my San Francisco 2025 inks. What do you think? I think they are all my favorites for different reasons. Yeah, I mean, you just can't go wrong with Manyo inks. I love Manyo inks. This Tono and Limbs, it just was such a fun surprise when it dried like that. Love the uniqueness of this Tasha. And I knew, I mean, I was already going to love Butterscotch and Buttercup. This is a really interesting dark brown with some red in it, and it's perfect in my Leonardo. So I'm just really happy with these purchases. What's your favorite? Did you get some inks at the show? If so, what did you get? What was your favorite? I'd love to hear from you. So I hope that you are taking really good care of yourself this September and just leaning into things that bring you joy. And as we transition to the next season, depending on where you are, it's fall here, maybe it's summer where you are, or heading into summer. I thank you for sticking around. I feel really blessed to have the time to be able to just play with inks and play with pens, and I'm just feeling really grateful for this hobby and this community. So thank you for watching me mess around with inks, and I will see you in the next video.